Disclaimer: if you don't like anything that involves violence or anything of that matter, then click off of this video. So, you stayed. So, I'm here to talk about my homicidal thoughts that I used to have. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in my first video ever, and I'm here to talk about it now. So yeah, wait, hold on. I just need to form my words. Excuse all the noises in the back. My mom is watching TV right now. But I'm gonna try to, talk over it. But yeah. So my homicidal thoughts formed when I was in 8th grade. I am a senior of high school now. I'm about to graduate this year, but it first formed when I was in 8th grade. It was born through all the bullying that I ever had. All the mental and physical abuse. When I was 9 months old, I was diagnosed with this thing where like when a toddler has too much fluid in their brain to the point where they have like lifetime learning, processing, and speech skills, basically. That's what I had. And I was bullied a lot for it. I was bullied physically and mentally for it. And I was like, I was miserable. And I don't know. Like, to be honest, when those thoughts first occurred, it was in math class. It was a math class in 8th grade. And it first appeared as like a a vision of my brother's room covered in blood. And I didn't know what to think at that time because I didn't want to think that. I never had a thought pop up like, oh, I want to imagine my brother's room covered in blood. No, it just randomly popped up in my head. It was like something is trying to tell me something, and I don't know what, you know. And after like after trying to process it a little bit, I got shocked. I was like, "What?" It was very vivid, and my brother's room covered in blood. It concerned me, like, and so I ran out of my room. Not my room. I ran out of the classroom, and I ran all the way to the counselor's room, and I started to talk to her about what I saw. And my counselor called my mom and my sister, and they came, and my counselor started to explain what I saw, like what's happening to me, to my mom and my sister. And my sister started to bring up that time where I used to be obsessed with the Columbine shooters. That that memory is so embarrassing, and I I would rather that to be a deep and forgotten memory because I was obsessed with the Columbine shooters when I was in elementary school, and I didn't have any thoughts about killing people at that time, but no, I was obsessed with them because it was like a fascinating topic to me at that time because I was a little kid. I didn't fully comprehend what, you know, massacres were. You know what I'm saying? I just thought that, oh, two people shooting in a school, that sounds cool. Like, what? That was my mindset when I was in elementary school. I know it sounds crazy, but like it's it's like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'd rather that be a long, deep, buried, forgotten memory. Okay. But my sister brought that up, and I was like, oh, why did you bring that up? Because I was so embarrassed. I did not want to remember that. But she brought it up, uh, and all that type of stuff. And so I don't really know what happened shortly after that, but time goes by and I started to have more thoughts about hurting people. Like, I had it to the point where I started to lock myself in my own room, and I didn't want to come out because I was scared of what I was capable of. I did not want to hurt my family. I did not want to hurt anyone else. I knew about the consequences, and so I did not want to have those consequences be held against me. I did not want to ruin my life by committing those acts. And I decided to lock myself in my room. I didn't eat that much. I just sat in my room rotting and making myself deal with my own thoughts. And that was unhealthy. Got to the point where I got skinny. I got really skinny from that, to the point where like you could see bone, like it got that bad. And like those thoughts, like it got worse and worse, you know, like um like it got to the point where I had to get into therapy. I had to talk to people. I have to, get into therapy and shit. So, um I remember going into school one day and going to one of the only people that I ever trusted. It was my best friend at that time. Um, and I told them about me having thoughts about hurting people, the homicidal thoughts. And he turned to his nearest friend and he was like, "Oh, oh, he had thoughts about hurting, like he had thoughts about killing people." And then they were like, "Oh, you want to kill people?" Oh my gosh. That was the start of something that that was the start of something that's gonna hurt me in a later future. Um like in okay, so in early in high school, um those thoughts, it was getting to me, like every time when I would pick up an object, uh, every time when I pick up an object, those thoughts always spiral in my mind, being like, "Oh, you can do this, you could do that. Oh, you could hurt someone. You can just you can hurt someone like this. Oh, you can stab someone with this." It's like a never-ending spiral of endless thoughts, endless visions. Like not only that I had thoughts, but also I had visions of it. I have vivid visions of like what I can do with certain objects. And it was torture. It was torture, Um and like those vivid visions started in eighth grade. But like it started to die down around like a little early in high school, kind of. Like maybe around sophomore year, it started to die down. Um, but like, if you saw my if you saw my first video, I talked about how I had a lot of bullying in high school. Yeah. um, I had bullying in high school to the point where I had rocks thrown at me. I had a lot of shit thrown at me, like a lot of hard objects thrown at me, like rocks, um, mechanical pencils. I had people harassing me for no reason. Um, I had people like really just tormenting me, towering over me endless amounts of times to the point where I started to get really, really mad. Really mad to the point where I started to have those strong thoughts about hurting them. And those strong thoughts about hurting people, that happened, I think it was like either late sophomore year or around junior year. I'm pretty sure it was like early junior year or around late sophomore year probably. And those thoughts came back to me like a truck, and it was very strong. Like I had urges to actually murder someone. Like it was bad, And I was scared. I did not want to do it. But it was like some other part of my brain really wanted me to do it. And I was so scared of the consequences. I was so scared of what my family can go through. I was so scared of, well, what happened to me. I was so scared of what I would become, like a little kid like that should not go through that. It was terrible. And I remember this one time, when people from my friend group would always like, well, hold on, I'm mixing my words. I remember when I was like hanging out with my friend group. This was in freshman year. I forgot to mention this. In freshman year, oh, there's a train going past by my house, but whatever. In freshman year, I had this friend group where I met like one of my favorite people ever. I'm still friends with him to this day, but at this time in freshman year, they found out about my thoughts about hurting people. And it was through rumors that spread around because of those people who 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 literally heard my best friend at that time snitching on me. Like, what the fuck? Like, I trusted that person, but he started to snitch for no reason. And it started to spread a shit ton of rumors about me, being like, oh, do you have thoughts about hurting people? Oh, do you have a kill list? Do you have a notebook of names you want to kill? Like, okay, L, you think I'm Kira? Like, come on, like, the fuck? And it caused the people in my friend group to really, like, generally ask me a question, being like, do you kill pets? What the fuck? And I gotten so pissed off to the point where I said, do you really think that I kill pets? And they were like, yeah, because of that. Like, it was, oh my god, like, it was miserable. It was a miserable time. They were ruining my relationships with people because of it. And like in junior year, fuck, like I remember there's this one person who was like, who who knew, like this person was related to one of my father's friends. I didn't know that at the time, but like this person, he was a terrible person. He was a very stupid person. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he was very stupid. I always overhear him being very reckless with like high powered cars, being like, "Oh, like he would always talk about like, oh, I stepped on the gas, I drove away from the cops and all that type of shit." It was, I always overhear that in Spanish class. I'm like, oh my gosh. And like he started to like bully me for no reason. Like he started bullying me ever since when I was like in freshman year. Like for no reason. Like, long story short, one of his friends threw a eraser at my direction, and I tossed it back, and then he all of a sudden said like, "You threw that eraser at my friend," and now he started to like fucking throw a bunch of hard objects towards me for that reason. It was no valid reason. It was basically for no reason, and ever since then he started to like make my life a living hell. and and like oh my gosh, it was so fucking bad. It got to the point where I got so mad at him one day. He was throwing, oh, he was being, oh, fuck, I accident- I almost dropped my I almost dropped my shit. But it got to the point where I got mad at him one day because he was throwing rolled up paper at my head with his friend. That sounds like a scene straight out of like a high school movie, but it pissed me off. It really did. It pissed me off to the point where like I was I was fuming. Like my head was burning. Like it was like, holy shit. It made me so mad. Even everybody in the entire classroom, they knew what was happening, but they never did anything. They never stood up for me. They never confronted him. They never did shit. They never did anything for me. They never did anything. I was just there alone dealing with this. I was dealing with this alone. And I really wanted to just do something to him. And I got so mad to the point where I went up to him. Uh, it got me so mad. Like, and I remember that I cussed once, and no, I remember that I cussed once, and all of a sudden my teacher said, "Do push-ups right now," because in our class, cussing in our class would mean you have to do 10 push-ups. And so, oh my gosh. So I did 10 push-ups. And then all of a sudden, he started to, you know, he started to bully me. He started to mock me for me doing simple fucking push-ups. And that was my breaking point. And so I went up to him and then I said that I have a plan for you. Now I know that sounds diabolical. I know that sounds like a death threat. To be honest, I don't know what I was thinking. I was so mad to the point where I blur out stuff that I really didn't mean. Um, I was very angry, very upset. And I would not. say that if I was like calm and shit. I wouldn't say it. Like, I wouldn't say it for any reason. But I was so mad to the point where I just blur out stuff that I didn't really mean. And so I said, I had a plan for you. And, sorry, I burped. And, that caused, his friends to be like, oh, he said he had a plan for you. Oh my gosh. Really like making a, sorry. It made the situation even worse. And I realized what I said. I was like, oh fuck. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. And so I started to have a plan. I was like, well, not a plan for him, but I was planning to change my words up. I planned, like, I started to think that, oh, maybe I should say, oh, I had a plan to pray for you to not be a piece of shit delinquent. That's exactly what I said to him. So basically, when I walked out of the classroom at the end of the day, at the end of the class day, well, no, at the end of the class hour, he came up to me and he was like, what did you have a plan for me for? And I said, well, I had a plan for you to stop being, well, I I messed up all my words. I said I have a plan for you. Like, fuck. I plan to pray for you to not be a piece of shit delinquent. That's exactly what I said. And I don't think that he bought that, to be honest. I didn't think he bought that. And I I don't think that he bought that for a reason that I'm about to say later. Um like um after that, there was like a lot more rumors being like, oh, do you have a kill list? Do you have people do you want to kill? And all that type of shit. Like, oh my god. I oh, it was a big fucking mistake. Like, oh my gosh. And yeah, it caused hold on. It got to the point where I had to tell my parents about it. Oh, you're a snitch. You're a snitch. No, it's not snitching. No, I have to tell someone because, it was getting to me. I told my mom about it after when I when I got back from my therapy session, like, like my therapy that I got from getting homicidal thoughts. Um and my mom was like, "Why didn't you tell me this earlier?" I was like, "Oh." And my it got to the point where dad called called my bully's, I'm gonna call him my bully. He called my bully's father, and and my father told me that, oh, I got I just got off of a call with his father, and he told me that you told the bully that you want to kill him. And I was like, that is some bullshit. That is some bullshit. Like, yeah, of course I said, oh, I have a plan for you. But no, I did not say that I was going to kill him. That was some bullshit. He pulled that out of his ass. That was bullshit. So, like, I told him, I was like, I told my dad, I was like, No, I never said that in my life. I never said that ever. And he was like, "Are you sure? Look at me in my eyes. Are you sure?" And I said, "Yes, I'm sure. I never said that in my life." And he believed me. He believed me, of course, because I never said it. I legit never said it. And like it's crazy to me that my bully would lie to his own father about it. Like, what the fuck? And then like later my father told me that like my father told me that my bully is like that because my bully witnessed his mother dying in front of him when he was young. And I was like, to be honest, I really don't really care, to be honest, because I know how traumatizing that is. I know how traumatizing that is, but that does not give you the right to treat me the way you did. You know, like, I do not give a single fuck about what you've been through. You should never have treated me that way for no reason. It pisses me off. Like, it truly pisses me off. So, like, after that, my mom started to go around to a lot of my cousins and then a lot of her friends being like, "Yeah, that that stupid that stupid bitch," or something like that. Like, yeah, she was cussing. She was like, "That fucking bitch, like, he he messed with my son. Like, he was bullying my son." And like, I'm so proud of my mom for that. I love my mom. Like, I love her so much, including my dad. I love him so much. And like, like, uh, and she, like, yeah, she started to like talk a lot with my cousins and her friends about it. And it got to the point where that whole thing spread all around the family to my friends and all that type of stuff. And like, after that, when I went to school, there was people like my bully's friends would like whisper to each other, being like, "Oh yeah, he was bullying him," and blah, blah, blah. And when I came into the room, they were silent. I was like, "I heard y'all. Like, y'all are so fucking loud." But I didn't really care, to be honest. I He got what he deserved. Like, he had some consequence. He had some consequences for his actions. But in senior year, the first semester of senior year, right now is in my I'm in my second semester, but in the first semester, it got really bad. Um, I remember I got added into a Instagram. Actually, maybe hold on. Maybe I should talk about this part of the story in the next video, because this part of the video should be in a separate video. But yeah, well, after this whole thing, right after when this whole thing happened, um, I got in a lot of therapy, right? Got in a lot of therapy. I talked to a lot of people about it. I talked to a lot of people about my issues, people who actually understood me, people who actually wanted to help me. It really helped me a lot. Me talking helped me a lot. And I am proud that I am now healing from that. I'm healing. I'm finally healing. I'm no longer having homicidal thoughts. I am no longer at risk, of other people. I'm no longer a danger. And I feel so proud of myself. I feel so proud. Right now, right now I am taking less therapy sessions because I am beginning to be dismissed from taking therapy because now I feel like now I feel like that I am now I feel like that I have like a massive band-aid on my head. Like it's really I'm healing, you know, like and after this whole thing, now I believe that anyone can really stop themselves from committing those acts, you know, from fulfilling those thoughts. You know, if you listen to this whole thing, um, if you listen to this whole thing, you'll know now that if you know someone who has those thoughts, they can heal from it. They can heal from it. Um, and I believe that anyone can heal from this, you know. I healed from it. I'm going to be able to have a future now. Finally, a future. And I believe that all these other people can. And I'm very proud of myself for it. Anyways, that's the whole story. I'm gonna talk about like that part that I was going to talk about, but I didn't. I'm going to talk about it in the next video. Which stay tuned for that. It's gonna come out in the very next day of this post. So stay tuned. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a nice day.